Close your eyes for a second and imagine waking up tomorrow and nothing works. Your phone says no GPS signal. Google Maps shows you are floating somewhere in the middle of the ocean. You try to pay for coffee, but your bank app says your account number doesn't exist. Planes, grounded. ATMs, frozen. Even your favorite delivery app says location not found. What just happened? Somewhere far above us, thousands of kilometers in space, one of the satellites that keeps our modern life running has been hacked. You see, satellites aren't just tools anymore. They are the digital nervous system of planet Earth. They guide ships and aircraft, timestamp every financial transaction, and help farmers decide when to sow and harvest. They keep the internet, weather forecasts, TV, and global communication alive. From the first beep of Sputnik in 1957 to modern mega-constellations like Starlink, our planet has been wrapped in a delicate web of orbiting machines. But here's the terrifying truth. Once a satellite is launched, it's nearly impossible to patch or repair. You can't just update it like a smartphone. And that makes it one of the juiciest targets for hackers. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, make sure to hit subscribe, like this video if you love tech stories, and share it with a friend who's into cybersecurity or space. Because today, we are diving into one of the most invisible wars happening right now, not fought with missiles or tanks, but with code. A war in space, where satellites can be hijacked, signals faked, and systems crippled, all from behind a computer screen. This is the space cyber war. Let's start with something real, an event that literally changed how governments think about satellite security. It was 24th February 2022, the same day Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. But before tanks even rolled across the border, something strange happened in cyberspace. Viasat's Viasat satellite network, which provides internet across Europe, suddenly crashed. A malware called acid rain spread through the system, wiping out tens of thousands of satellite modems. It wasn't random, it was surgical. A weaponized cyber attack. Here's what happened next. In Ukraine, critical military communications went offline right when they were most needed. In Germany, over 5,800 wind turbines stopped working, not because they were damaged, but because their remote connections vanished. Across France, Poland, and Italy, tens of thousands of homes lost internet. This wasn't some kid playing with code. This was cyber warfare, an attack on space infrastructure. And the message was clear, the next war won't just be on the ground, it'll be fought in orbit too. So, if this could happen to one network, how many others are already vulnerable? Now let's talk about something that sounds like sci-fi, GPS spoofing. You know how your phone magically knows exactly where you are. That's GPS, signals beamed down from satellites 20,000 kilometers above Earth. But what if someone fakes those signals? That's spoofing, and it's happening right now. In regions like the Middle East and around the Strait of Hormuz, ships have reported drifting into places they weren't actually in, some even appearing to be miles inland or flying over airports according to their GPS data. It's not magic, it's manipulation. Hackers send out a stronger, fake GPS signal, tricking ships, planes, and even military vehicles into thinking they're somewhere else. At one point in 2024, reports estimated nearly 1,000 ships per day faced interference in that region alone. Think about it, one wrong GPS coordinate, and a cargo ship can end up off route, delaying fuel, food, or medicine shipments. Even aircraft have reported strange interference near conflict zones, a terrifying risk when you are flying at 35,000 feet. Have you ever thought about how much we trust GPS, and what would happen if it lied to us? Here's where things get complicated. Satellites are dual-use technology, meaning the same system can serve both civilian and military purposes. The satellite that helps farmers track rainfall in Africa can also guide a missile. The network that gives you internet in a remote area might also be feeding intelligence to an army. So when hackers target satellites, they're not just attacking a piece of metal in space, they're poking at global infrastructure, where civilian life and national defense overlap. And that's what makes satellite hacking such a nightmare for governments, because it's nearly impossible to separate peace from warfare in orbit. Now let's break down how hackers actually target space systems. The shocking part: they often don't need to touch the satellite itself. 1. Ground station attacks. These are the control hubs on Earth that send commands to satellites. Many still run on outdated software, sometimes even unpatched Windows systems. If hackers break into one of these, they can literally send commands to the satellite, tilt it, jam it, or even disable it. 2. Supply chain infiltration. This one's scarier. Hackers don't need to attack the satellite in space, they compromise it before launch. Remember the pager explosion incidents in Lebanon in 2024? Thousands of pagers used by Hezbollah reportedly exploded simultaneously, triggered remotely. Investigators found the devices had been tampered with during manufacturing, meaning the compromise started years before they were used. Now imagine that happening to a satellite. If even one microchip in a satellite's hardware is backdoored, hackers can control or destroy it anytime after launch. 3. Signal attacks, jamming and spoofing. We've seen spoofing. Jamming is simpler: flood the frequency with noise so the real signal can't get through. Military jets, ships, and even weather satellites face this constantly. 4. Legacy protocol exploits. Many satellites use decades-old communication systems. Once they're in orbit, you can't update them, so hackers can quietly exploit old vulnerabilities and wait for the right moment to strike. It's like hacking a remote control that's 36,000 kilometers away, but once you have access, you are untouchable. So what happens if one critical satellite fails? It's not just one system that goes down, it's everything connected to it. Banking and finance. Global stock markets rely on satellite timing. Without it, transactions can't be verified. Logistics, cargo ships lose tracking. Delivery systems stop. Ports get chaotic. Emergency services, ambulances, and rescue teams lose navigation. Power grids. Many rely on satellite timing for synchronization. Without it, you risk blackouts. Weather and climate. No forecasts, no storm warnings, natural disasters strike unpredicted. When satellites fall, the pillars of modern civilization tremble. So how do we protect our digital sky? 1. Security by design. New satellites are now being built with encryption, authentication, and secure firmware designed for cyber defense from day one. 2. Upgrading old assets. Governments are trying to patch older satellites or replace them with secure systems. But there are hundreds still running on outdated protocols. 3. Attribution and diplomacy. Naming and shaming attackers publicly is becoming a tool, not just for punishment, but deterrence. 4. Global cooperation. No one owns space. Defending it needs international collaboration, sharing threat intelligence and security standards. 5. Space law updates. Existing treaties don't define satellite hacking as an act of war, and that needs to change fast. Because right now, a cyber attack in orbit could cause chaos and still be technically legal. We are entering a new era of silent warfare. It's not about who lands on Mars first, it's about who controls the code that controls the orbit. Satellites have become invisible soldiers in an unseen war. Nations, private companies, even criminal groups all want a piece of the digital sky. The next global conflict may not begin with an explosion, but with a quiet loss of signal. So now I want to hear from you. If GPS went dark in your city for a single day, what's the first thing that would break in your life? Would you trust your maps, your flights, your banks? Let's talk in the comments. I'll be reading your thoughts. And before you go, hit like if you think space cybersecurity deserves more global attention. Subscribe if you want more deep dives into the dark corners of tech and cyber warfare. Every satellite orbiting above is a thread holding modern life together. Attack one and the ripple can reach every home, every system, every human. We must protect our space not just as nations, but as one planet. Until next time, stay safe, stay informed, and keep your eyes on the sky.